is Shine Valentine. Back today again, a new episode. In today's episode, I want to talk about why some people like to bring up another person's significant other or spouse into a dispute when they're in an argument with that person. So if you have two people, they have a disagreement, one of them a lot of times like to bring up the other person's personal life as far as their significant other, their wife, their husband, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, whomever. Like, they like to bring that person up in a negative way. And so my question is, what does that have to do with what you two are having a dispute about? And this is happening in real life and on YouTube. And on YouTube, I've noticed just lately, in the black sector of YouTube, it's been a lot of back and forth, people so-called exposing each other, going back and forth about who's lying, who wasn't lying, who's trying to get views, who's not trying to get views, who's a con artist, who's not, who's using donations, who's not. I just all this, and then they end up always bringing this person's personal life into the equation, and I don't understand, what does their personal life, specifically their spouse, have to do with you two's disagreement? This happens in real life too. We know you get into it with someone, they're talking about you behind your back, and you find out they brought up some information about your significant other into the conversation that was negative, and you're wondering, like, well, what does that have to do with our disagreement? People love to hit below the belt. The reason I'm breaking this up, this has been bugging me about YouTube lately, because I started watching YouTube videos in 2009. They were basically hair videos because I was transitioning to natural. And so YouTube was fun back then. Now it's just all this beefing and going back and forth. And even if you have a disagreement, why are you bringing someone's spouse into the equation? I've seen so many videos where two people have gotten into it recently, and one of the people in the scenario was married, and the other person used that against that person, said, well, your spouse probably wants me, or I can get your spouse, I could take your spouse from you, or just bringing them up. And why are you doing that? What do they have to do with the disagreement? I think that's very lowbrow and insecure and beyond disrespectful. I mean, we already know it's disrespectful, but it's just beyond disrespectful to behave like that. But this is what I want to say. Basically, I think people, this is my opinion, do this is because they want to do and say the most hurtful things they can to upset you. Now, mind you, it's one thing if you said some very hurtful, nasty things to them. But when you are just having, like I said, a basic argument, and they try to go to something they feel that would move you emotionally, something's wrong with that person. So I have calculated that there are a lot of people on this planet that something's wrong with because a lot of people do this. Now, in my life, if me and a person got into an argument, it depends on the situation, but normally I like to keep the argument based upon what we're arguing about for the most part. But if this person's I try to keep it whatever they insult me about, I try to insult them on the same level. So if the insult is about how I look, the insult to them is going to be the way they look. If the insult is about my career, that my insult to them is going to be about their career. I go tip for tap. Normally, I try to stick with the subject matter at hand. Most people don't do that, because usually when they try to insult you, if they feel you one up them on that category, let's just say you have a person that is petty and they're comparing their kids to yours. And I notice some parents do this I don't know why they do this, but sometimes you'll have a person that likes to compare their children to your children and make it seem like their child or children is better than yours. So let's just say they're used to doing this to people, but they run into you, and let's say your kid has quote unquote accomplished more than their kid, which I don't even like saying that, because we all have different goals and aspirations in life, and it's not up to anyone to tell someone that their goal is too small or your goal is better. So I don't like that, comparing goals or accomplishments. because everybody have a different view of what accomplishment is, and everybody's goal is different. But just for the sake of this argument, basically, let's just say that person encounters you and they're used to bragging about their kid or kids doing X, Y, and Z, and your kid has quote unquote accomplished more than theirs. Now, see, in their mind, you won the argument, or you won the debate, or you won whatever treat that they was trying to win. You won. So now they have to go to something else in your life, or something about your physical appearance, or maybe your relationship status, or they have to, or your income. They have to go to something to, in their mind, outdo you, because you so-called won that. And I noticed this. Now, I don't know why people do this, but I noticed this a lot in people. And on YouTube, it's showing, it's ringing its ugly head, because it's so many people getting into it on YouTube, and they can't keep the conversation based upon the conversation. If one person is accusing another person of using donations or living off of donations, okay, keep it based upon that. Why now is the conversation on you can steal their significant other, or their significant other looks good and you can have them? Like, how do you go, or their significant other is cheating on them, or you think they are, or they might not have, or they might not be in a relationship but you are, so now you're gonna say, well, yeah, you could say whatever you want about me getting donations, but at least I have a husband, at least I have a wife. I mean, what does that have to do with what does that have to do with donation? You see what I mean? So, and I'm bringing this up because I'm not going to say the lady's name, but she had an issue with Lovely T. And Lovely T, I think, currently is not married. But this lady is. This lady claims she's been married for a bunch of years. I don't know how many years. And I guess she feels pride about that, or she feels prideful that, prouder. Excuse me. Let me take that back. She has pride in the fact that she's been married for a long time, and that's her prerogative. But everyone doesn't look at that as accomplishment. Just because you look at being married for 20 years, however long, as an accomplishment, that doesn't mean everyone else looks at it. Maybe to them, accomplishment is having their own business. Maybe their accomplishment is becoming a millionaire. Maybe their accomplishment to them is just having children, or just being healthy, or just pursuing a goal they always want to do. I mean, like, who are you to make them feel less than because they don't have something you have, but maybe they don't value what you have? Maybe to them being married isn't a valuable thing. Maybe to them being rich is valuable, and maybe to you just being married is, you know what I mean? It's just people always want to put their standards of accomplishments on someone else, and everybody's goals is different. That's not right to do that, because we're two different people, so we have two different things that we have interest in. Maybe I want to be an astronaut, and maybe you want to be a lawyer. And so if I become an astronaut, you become a lawyer. I can't say that you're not accomplished because you're not an astronaut. You can't say that I'm not accomplished because I'm not a lawyer, because I didn't want to be one and you didn't want to be an astronaut. You see? So how can you compare apples to oranges? But this lady said to Lovely T, oh, well, I have a husband. You sleeping that long. You're going to bed at night alone. And I thought that was very disgusting to say to her, because the argument was that I think Lovely T was talking about her views and that her editing was good. And this lady got mad, oh my God, about her saying that, but Lovely T did not say who she was talking about. And the lady thought that she was talking about her, but how do we jump from talking about people's editing skills on YouTube to who's married, who's not, and who's sleeping alone at night, and who don't have a man, and who doesn't have a girlfriend? I mean, how do we jump from, why would you jump to that? See, when people jump to stuff like that, I feel they're insecure about something. So they feel like they lost the argument. They feel like you put them down about something. They don't have a comeback. So they gotta go to a different category, because YouTube hits and subscribers, that's one category. Okay, your personal life is another category. Your life, if you have children or not, that's another category. How you look, that's another category. You see what I mean? They like to jump categories when they feel they did not win in one category. And I think that's playing dirty. I normally like to stick to the subject. It just depends on how rude the person got with me. But let me take me out of this, because this hasn't happened to me where I got into it with someone on YouTube and they were talking about my significant other. That hasn't happened to me, so I can't really speak upon that. But I have seen it happen to multiple people on YouTube, and I don't like it. What happened to YouTube being fun? and this is not just YouTube. This happens as we know in real life. You have a disagreement with a coworker, and now they talking about, well, that's why your kid didn't graduate from high school. Well, damn, what does that have to do with her not turning in her reporting time? Oh, she missed the deadline on turning in a report, and now you're talking about that's why her kid didn't graduate from high school. You see what I mean? Like, why do they go? The only thing I can think of is that they feel like they lost the argument in that particular category and they had to jump categories. But here on YouTube, I think it's just going too far. Like, why are you bringing up people's significant other? Like, why? And people might say, well, they shouldn't bring them up or show them. Well, some people whose significant other has been brought up in conversations, honestly, from what I remember, they did not have their significant other actually in the video. They showed their significant other. This particular YouTube, they have a husband. She showed her husband, I think, on Instagram. So she showed pictures of him, but he wasn't like actually in the videos with her talking or anything like that. And she discussed her husband, but that was as far, he still wasn't in the spotlight with her on the video. So I don't know how it goes from, I just think people, they're cutthroat, they're dirty. I mean some people are cutthroat and dirty. They like to, when they feel they lost the argument, they want to hit you where it hurts, and they want to make it hurt bad, and they don't really know what buttons to push, so they always go to what they think is nearest and dearest to you, and that's normally a person's significant other and their children, if they have a significant other and if they have children. If they don't have either one, then they'll say, well, that's why you're alone, or that's why you don't have kids, or that's why you don't have a husband, or that's why you don't have a wife, or that's why you don't have a boyfriend, or that's why you don't have a girlfriend. And I do. It never fails. The argument was about the chicken nuggets not being cooked good enough. The argument was about I don't like the way the chicken nuggets were cooked. They're soggy. I wish they were more crispier. That's why your man left you for another woman. Well, damn. All I said was the chicken nuggets could have been crispier, and they're kind of soggy and not seasoned very well. And you're talking about that's why my boyfriend or my husband left me for another woman. Well, damn. What? That's how they act. I mean, I don't get it. Are some people just evil? Is that what it is? Because I just don't understand this YouTube thing. I have seen so many people get into it with each other on YouTube and bring up the other person's significant other. And if they don't have the significant other, if they do not have a significant other, a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, then they say, oh, that's why you're alone. That's why you don't have nobody. That's why nobody wants you. That's why you're lonely. Like, what the hell does they gotta do with me editing? I mean, what? Editing a video. All I said was, what Lovey T, all she said was, I mean, she was going back and forth with this woman. Well, really, the woman, she never said the woman's name. It was a couple people that were making videos about Lovey T, and she just came back saying, well, some of you guys' editing is bad, and that's really all she said. And that equal to this particular woman to say that's why you sleep alone at night. Wow. So you went from getting upset about you're not being as good at editing as her, and that really hurt your feelings to the point where you had to talk about how you were married for 30 years and how because Lovey T, I think, was married at one point and then had children by her husband. They're no longer together. So how did it go from her just saying and she don't even know if she was talking about her, but let's just say she was. How did it go from a dispute about who editing skills was the best to talking about someone sleeping alone at night? You're that upset that she has more subscribers than you. You're that upset that she's actually can make turn YouTube into a career and have her T line, and same with Tasha K, because people think I don't like Tasha K. No, same with her. Now Tasha K, I don't want to get into this anymore because I don't know who starts what. I just know people on YouTube take stuff way too far, and in real life, and basically what I'm seeing with YouTube, these people are like this in real life, but they just have transferred it to YouTube. They just have turned it, they just have brought it to YouTube to show their behind. Because why would you go? Why you can't just have a basic disagreement based upon the facts, and then because you felt you lost the argument, you got to go talking about someone's personal life? I don't respect people that do that. They take it way too far. And like I said, this hasn't happened to me. But I've noticed I could name about 5 people, it seems, on YouTube that someone's talking about their spouse and how they can get their spouse and bring their significant other in the equation. Why are you doing that? Or releasing information about the significant, why are you all doing this? Like, if you can answer me this question, why? I know you all aren't doing this, but I'm just saying, the people who are, like, why do you feel the need to not stick to what the dispute is about? If we're having an argument about something, or we're having a disagreement, rather, I don't want to call it argument, a disagreement about something so basic, about subscribers, or editing, or donations, or who said what in the video. Why did it go from that to someone talking about they can steal? I heard a woman say she could steal another woman's wife. So it's a woman on YouTube, she's married to a woman, and another woman said, well, you know, I could steal your wife, or I could get your wife. And I mean, why would you really? This is what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just going too far to me. I don't why they just can't stick to the topic. So if anybody could comment below and give me your viewpoint on this. You might disagree with me. I think it's the person is being very hateful, mean-spirited. I think they have some level of insecurity, and I feel like they lost the argument with this person, or the disagreement was in one category and they felt they lost the argument, or whatever. They wanted to win, and so they jumped categories. So if they can't win arguing with you about, okay, the basic whatever you all are talking about, they're going to go to your personal life or different things where they feel they have an edge up, or they're going to attack something that's near and dear to you to get emotional reaction out of you. So just leave your comments below. I just for the record, I don't respect people that do that. I think it's disgusting. I think most people have it in them to do it to a certain extent, but I think some people have it worse, where you might think certain thoughts like, well, that's, you know, someone make you mad, you might say, well, that's why your significant other's cheating on you. You might think that if the person made you really upset, but they should have made you very upset. It shouldn't be just a basic argument. And even if you're thinking that thought, you would never say it or tell other people or say it to them when the argument or dispute had nothing to do with that.